Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Vegan Spirituality Online Gathering. My name's Lisa Levinson, and I'm one of your hosts this evening. This program is brought to you by In Defense of Animals. It's part of our sustainable activism campaign to provide emotional and spiritual tools for animal activists and for vegans. So it's my pleasure to introduce you to our program tonight. What we do here is we explore veganism as a spiritual practice, and we do that online through these meetings and gatherings, and we interview different speakers each month. And we also have sister groups that are in person, and they are located all across the country. You're even welcome to start your own sister group. You can find out more at veganspirituality.com. So you might be able to join up with a group that has speakers locally, a vegan potluck, and even a local retreat. We do have a couple retreats coming up soon, so I encourage you to check them out. One is called special one called Holistic Fitness that will be happening in Hawaii in a couple months, and that one you can find on vegan dreamretreats.com. That's it. And without any further ado, I'd like to introduce my co-host, Judy Carmen. She is the author of Peace to All Beings. Hi, Judy. Hey, Judy, we're not hearing you at the moment.
There we go. Is that
Yeah,
better?
much better.
That better? Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm so glad to be here, and thank you, Lisa. We are so thrilled to have Kate Ballo with us tonight, and I know a lot of you are really excited to hear what she has to say, and those of you who don't know her will be thrilled to hear what she has to say. So we're very lucky that she's with us. She is spearheading a movement to transform the future for animals and the earth. She guides women on an inner journey of transformation in her mentorship program called Your Sacred Pearl to unearth the sacred treasures each of us holds within us to help heal the world, which is very exciting to think about that. We each have that within us. Kate believes that once we tap into our unique soul gifts and stop dimming our lights, we create an endless string of luminescent pearls. That's a beautiful thing to think about. And that string wraps around Mother Earth so that she can shine in all her beauty. Living a life where we each fully embrace our authentic selves and fearlessly answer the call of our highest spiritual destinies is essential to manifesting the peace for all beings that we all wish to see in the world. She's currently producing a free online gathering. It's a global event, and it is called Visionary Vegan Women. And it's, or Woman, I believe, which will launch on October 7th in this year, of course. And I believe in the chat box, I believe we have information on how to access that. If not, it will be there soon. And you can find out more about Kate at her website, which is Kate-Ballo, BALLO.com. And that will be in the chat box also for everybody. So Kate, welcome, and thank you so much for being with us. It's just lovely to see you.
Aw, thank you so much, Judy. It's so lovely to see you and Lisa, and what a beautiful welcome, a warm welcome. I'm so happy to be here. Vegan spirituality is just, it aligns with everything I believe in. And so, yeah, and I had the pleasure of interviewing you and Lisa. So it's just, I love being here on the other side of the camera. And yeah,
Yeah,
I'm just, yeah, I'm very honored.
yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Well, we're very honored to have you. So now we've got some questions. Um, First of all, Tell us about your vegan journey. How did you come to be vegan, and how did it impact your life?
So, my vegan journey, I was thinking about this earlier today. I'm like, where do I even start? So, I think I'll start from the beginning. I mean, I was born loving animals. Like most of us, I loved animals. And I lost my father when I was very young. I was about 3.5. And at that point, I feel like I lost a part of myself, like a part of me, just kind of disappeared, I guess. And I felt like a hole, a gaping hole in my heart. And I feel like when I communed with animals, it was the only time I really felt whole again. And I think it was just their innocent, pure energy and just their acceptance, their unconditional love and acceptance of me, of who I was in that moment. And I didn't have to wear any masks. I didn't have to perform. I didn't have to, I could just be me, which is what I've always wanted and which I will get to in a minute, but which I feel like I'm finally coming into and stepping into now. In my work and as a vegan woman and a visionary vegan woman, I like to say. So I guess rewinding back towards that time, like most of us, I was conditioned to, by well-meaning parents, well-meaning caregivers. My family is Italian, and I remember I was exposed to, cured meats and just veal cutlets and all these things that I was able to eventually create a kind of, a thick skin towards. And I didn't question what I was eating. I just ate it. It tasted good. And eventually, I think my heart kept whispering to me. It kept whispering to me, this isn't right. This isn't what you want to be doing. But I kind of just nudged it away, and I just kept on going with the paradigm of our culture, the dominant paradigm, which is to eat animals, the carnism. Then I got my beautiful dog Bean. When I was in college, and she really, I mean, I was going through a hard time in college. I was pretty depressed, I would say, and an anxious person, and so I turned to drugs and alcohol. And yet I had this companion, and she I'll probably get emotional. She was like my little sidekick. And she would just come with me everywhere. And she was the first true love of my life. And I guess that hole in my heart that I felt since I was a child, she was able to fill that and heal that. Like nothing else could. The drugs, the alcohol, the men, just whatever it was that I was seeking was not filling that hole, yet she was able to heal me in a way that no other being was able to do until that point. So me and Bean kept living life. I got to a point where I was just a shell of myself. Emotionally and spiritually, I was bankrupt. And so I ended up finding AA, and that changed my life because I had no knowledge of just a higher power or something greater than myself to turn to or to lean into when times had been tough. Now, I had sensed since I was little that I still had this connection with my father, even though he was in spirit, but I never was able to foster that. I was never able to maybe trust it or believe it. And so, and again, because of the social conditioning, I started to numb out to even to that connection, to my intuition, to the connection to the spirit world, and just guides and angels, and I just I just denied that existence. And so once I came into AA and I found spiritual tools to recover, I was able to start to kind of suture myself back up and feel my soul grow within me again, and really just didn't feel alone anymore, and knew that I had a higher power, which for me is the feminine face of God at this point in time, and it's always changing, and that's a beautiful journey of its own. But basically, I sought out nature, and I started to look into holistic nutrition, and I started to really come alive again. And I studied holistic nutrition, and I went to school for that. And then I started to come upstate where my mom lived, and I felt like it was feeding my soul. I was like, oh, I was becoming alive. I was coming alive again because of the oxygen in the trees and just the beauty around me, the silence, the peace. And this is what my soul craved. And I just never knew that. And I was born and raised in New York City. So, I was just bombarded as a child and growing up and as an adult, a young adult, just with the sounds and the craziness of the city. And I didn't really know that there was anything much different out there. And then when I started coming upstate, I was like, oh, this is where I need to be. So I ended up moving upstate. And I remember toying with vegetarianism, and I just couldn't commit. I couldn't commit to vegetarianism, and I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that, and even veganism, and veganism was my goal, but I couldn't commit. I would do 30 days, and then I would go back to eating something that I really craved. And I think a lot of it had to do with my genes. I'm an addict and an alcoholic, at the end of the day. And basically, I was addicted to dairy. I was addicted to the taste of meat and eggs, and the casein in dairy is very addictive. So it was a long journey. I really wanted to go vegan, and I think what happened was I started to study animal communication, and animal communication helped me see that we are all one. And I started to realize that these cows that were out in the farms that I would pass when I was driving out on the roads, these cows were not soulless animals. These cows were sentient beings just like myself, and I've been told that they don't feel anything, they don't feel pain, they don't have emotions, they don't have personalities. And I believed that for so long because I wanted to just justify my behavior, I suppose you could say. But when I was communicating with these animals, I realized, I was like, each animal has their own personality, and this is all stuff I knew as a child. I had become desensitized. So yeah, and then I played around with veganism, and I wasn't a great cook, but so I was living upstate, so I didn't have the options to eat out anymore and order in and all that stuff. So it really pushed me into the kitchen. And I got out my Alicia Silverstone, The Kind Diet, and I just started doing recipes from her book. And I really started having fun with it. And eating vegan started to just heal my heart, just like communing with animals did. And here we have my mom's cat coming to join us. And for the first time, I really felt like I was, when I stopped eating meat and dairy and eggs and consuming products made from animals, I really just felt like I was coming home to myself again. And just like in AA, where I had that spiritual awakening, I had another spiritual awakening, like at a deeper level, where even, I mean, besides just the energy levels, and my energy levels skyrocketed and my skin cleared up. I had cystic acne for years that I couldn't clear up. That went away when I took away the dairy. Um, yeah, so I just basically, I felt like I was starting to embrace that little girl inside of me who always loved animals and who didn't want to eat them, didn't want to partake in that cruelty. And it was like, you know how I spoke about in the beginning, I lost a part of me. So that part of me kind of came back. It was almost like a soul retrieval in a way. So yeah, I guess I would say another point about my vegan journey, and I feel like I'm going on a long time for this one question, but it's just so important, is that we don't have to do this alone. I felt like I was not going to be able to do it so many times because I kept falling off and like not being able to commit to the vegetarianism even. So I was like, oh, I'm never going to be able to do this. But then I realized, just like in AA, how I had been taught that, you know, there's a spiritual solution to everything. I started to pray for help removing animal products from my diet because I couldn't do it alone. I couldn't do it just based on my knowledge, on my deep, deep desire to stop. So I started to help. I started to write affirmations. I am vegan. I am vegan. I am vegan. And ultimately, my prayers were answered. I remember a friend of mine, I was so caught up with not being able to eat cheese pizza. Sounds so sad right now, but it was true for me at the time. I was like, I don't know how I'm not going to be able to eat melty cheese pizza. So a friend of mine just called me out of the blue and said, I'm going to send you, he knew about that I was trying to go vegan, and he's said that he would send me this particular mozzarella. It was by Miyoko, who, if anyone knows about vegan cheeses, this is basically like the top cheese. It's an artisanal cheese, which is amazing, and the mozzarella is just amazing. And he ended up sending me all different types of cheeses from Miyoko. And as soon as I tasted that mozzarella, and it came in a ball, just like the way the Italian mozzarellas come, I said, I can do this. I can do this. It's done. I am vegan now. You know, like there's just no way I'm going to partake in the cruelty anymore. And so I remember even just the next day, there was just my life force had woken up. I woke up at like about 5 a.m. and I was just ready to commit to the journey. And I did a post on social media saying like, I'm answering a call that has been calling me for most of my life, and I am ready to do this. And I knew that announcing it wasn't going to be a problem because I was there, I was committed. And I knew in veganism, like as I, you know, stayed vegan and committed to the lifestyle and just started to feel much better in my body, more agile, more light, and my heart started to heal from all that pain of, you know, that cycle of shame of eating burgers and egg and cheeses and things like that, but like knowing deep down inside that that's not what I wanted to do. I started to heal from that. And from that, I started to realize like, this is my purpose. Like, this is why I'm here. And so a whole new world opened up, and I was ready to, you know, just get to work for the animals. And I just didn't know how yet, but I guess we'll talk a little bit about what my what I started to discover was my actual purpose. Um, in yeah, we'll talk about that soon.
Oh my goodness, Kate, thank you so much for sharing your heart with us, and I'm sure all of us have shed a few tears just hearing what you went through, how hard that was, and how much courage that took to go as far as you've gone, and also to hear just how much spirituality helped, your faith helped get you here, and now you've dedicated your life, and boy, we need you. So this is wonderful. So to go on to the next question, on your website, you talk about raising feminine consciousness and using our unified medicine for the earth as an important part of transforming to a vegan world. Please tell us more about why this feminine consciousness is so essential and how it can bring peace to all beings.
Sure. I love that question. And yeah, I mean, I'm committed to raising feminine consciousness just because we have the feminine has been suppressed, has been dominated, has been silenced for so long, for over 5,000 years now, and there's no denying that we are rising up, that the feminine consciousness is being reinstated, but we need to ride this wave right now, I think, and to catch it, we need to join hands. I think that we need to join together and help, as women and also men, because we all contain the feminine and the masculine. But my work is with women, and I truly believe that, we each contain this medicine to help heal the world. And there's the Tibetan prophecy that says, when 1,000 goddesses gather together, and that's me and you. That's not like archetypal goddesses. That's human flesh goddesses. So when the goddesses gather together, the divine feminine will be reborn. So I think that there's, strength in numbers when we join hands as sisters, as brothers who are conscious of the feminine, of the divine feminine, and also helping to reinstate it. And also there's something about feminine energy. So we live in a culture where we are, we like to do. We are in a masculine dominated culture. So we take action. We go out there, we do, and we think that that's the way to get to what we need to do or what we want. And what I'm finding, and what, I've been studying and practicing, is a different way of being, of living, of doing things and achieving things. And creating the life of my dreams, of my clients' dreams. And there's a different way to get there. We don't have to burn out. We don't have to exhaust ourselves. We don't have to force things to happen. There's a more soft way. And I really believe that we need to bring this way into the world and start to implement it and teach it, and it doesn't need to be taught, actually, because we all have it within us, but it needs to be uncovered, it needs to be unearthed, and that is being more receptive, being more still, being the visionary. So when you're still, when you're in meditation, when you're reflecting, when you're out in nature and communing with nature, with the animals, you are able to receive guidance that you wouldn't be able to receive if you were out there with a plan and an agenda that you're going to do something, and you're just moving quickly and basically not at the pace. And I'm speaking for myself here. When I get into that mode of like, I need to get this done, like I'm missing out on so much goodness. I'm missing out on, first of all, just the guidance from, the realm of spirit, which I have been cultivating a relationship with my guides and with my power animals and, with my father who has crossed over, as I spoke about, and Bean, who also has passed away, but I also feel very, very close with her now, even though she's in spirit. But so we need to kind of come back to this way of this softer way of just bringing the divine guidance in and anchoring it into the world. And the way to do that is to practice this feminine way, and also it helps us unearth what our unique medicine is. I struggled for so long to know what I was meant to do here on earth, and I always felt this call, I always felt this pull that there was something bigger, there's something more that I was meant to do, but I just couldn't tap into it. And the veganism thing, when I went vegan, that helped first of all just kind of like unclog my I don't know how to say it, like unclog my conditioning, the conditioning that had saturated my brain. So the veils had kind of lifted in that sense. So that was the first thing, practicing that compassionate living, which is a feminine way of living, was essential for me to start to hear this guidance, hear what I'm meant to do, and take steps from that guidance. So yeah, I think that, we all need to slow down, really. We need to slow down. We need to learn to be still and to be okay with not doing constantly. And I also practice menstrual cycle awareness, which has opened a lot of doors for me as a woman, and trusting my body and tuning into the guidance of my cyclical nature. And I also teach this to my clients because I think it's so crucial to learn to create sustainable energy so we're not burning out, because we are passionate. I'm on fire about what I'm here to do. I'm on a mission to help these animals, but I can burn out really easily. And if I'm not practicing a more feminine approach to my advocacy, to my activism, to just this passion in my heart, I will burn out. I can also, burn out to the point where I'll just be paralyzed and I won't help anyone. I won't be of help. So managing my energy through very conscious living of, we are cyclical beings. We are a part of nature. Just like Earth has her seasons, we also have our seasons. And we have inner seasons. And this time of, the moon time, the menstrual time is our winter. It's our inner winter, and it's time to sit back, relax, rest, nurture yourself, nourish yourself, connect with your higher power, whoever that may be, whatever that may be, and receive that guidance for what the next steps are to take in terms of your medicine, what you're meant to bring. So each month we have a chance to almost like to take a retreat and really integrate and heal from whatever harshness has happened during the month, we need to take that time to rest and to regenerate. And that is the way that we can jump back into our lives, when springtime comes, and start to emerge with our ideas and give birth to just all the activity and the new excitement about what we're here to do. But we can't do that without resting. We can't do that without taking time away from technology and just disconnecting. And even if you, like for me, I have 3 kids, and it's pretty hard to take really long breaks. And I wish I could just go into like a cave and not come out until my moon time was over, but that's not really possible. So, taking small breaks, even just like a 20-minute break, just lying on a yoga mat in your studio or out in nature, just really being conscious of the fact that you need to receive at that time. And for women who aren't menstruating, and I was breastfeeding when I learned about menstrual cycle awareness, you can cycle with the moon. And actually the moon for me, because I started cycling with the moon, and the new moon is the time of resting and renewal and healing and visioning, all that. Because I learned menstrual cycle awareness and cycling with the moon, I am so connected to the moon now. And when the moon is full, I can barely sleep. I can barely contain myself. And when the moon is new, yeah, I'm tired, I'm drained, and I know that I need to rest. So yeah, that's just a practice it's a spiritual practice, and it's changed my life. And it's definitely part of reinstating the feminine consciousness, coming back into our bodies and really respecting and honoring that we are nature and that she's in us. The guidance system is there, and it's just about honoring that and listening to that.
Oh, thank you, Kate. That was very inspiring, and I'm sure all the women that are listening in are either already knew that or are wanting to know more, because that is it. There's so much we need to learn about feminine consciousness, because, like you said, it's been oppressed for so long. And so you already talked a little bit, I think, about your mentoring, some of the things that you talk about in your mentoring. But what are some ways that someone can begin to access their unique soul message and purpose right away? How do you do that?
Sure, I love that. So, I mean, yeah, it's like I said, it's my mission to help women find their purpose, never look back, just, act on their purpose. Because for me, it changed my whole world. And implementing spiritual practices is also what got me clarity as to what I was here for. So I help women with these spiritual practices, and a lot of the times I like to just start with asking for help from the world of spirit, because that is what helped me, just asking for help. It's just really that simple. Like, you can do it mentally. You may not believe in a higher power, but I mean, I'm assuming you do if you're on this call. It could be as simple as, journaling. I mean, I think that that's communicating with the divine. I like to do this. I like to do what I call, well, I learned it from a mentor, and she calls it deep soul writing. And you create sacred space first. So you're asking your spirit guides, or, whoever it is, whomever you pray to, or whoever you believe is there helping you, even your ancestors, a deceased pet, whatever it may be. to step forward, and you can create sacred space and maybe light a candle in honor of them, and then you can just sit down and just keep writing. You can shamanic journey. I love doing shamanic journeying, and meeting with my power animals there. You know, asking for help is for me the first step, to really begin to access what you're holding inside, and to help reveal it, because we each have this unique medicine within us, and it's so important to find out what that is, because you're here for a reason, and accessing that is what's going to bring the peace on earth. So I would say asking for help from spirit. And then another thing is embracing who you truly are, like quirks and all, sensitivities and all. I know that for me, part of my story is just resisting being such a sensitive human being. I've just felt everyone's pain. I felt the animal, and now especially, you know, as a sober woman, as a woman who does not consume animal products, you know, I feel like I'm even that much more sensitive. And yeah, I think that when we resist who we are, sorry, this cat, my mom's cat is pushing the computer away from me because he's rubbing up against it. So yeah, I think embracing who we are is going to help us to move forward in an authentic way, to really discover why we're here. I know that for us high empaths, and I'm sure so many of us on the call are, highly sensitive human beings. It's really essential to embrace that, because ultimately that is our superpower as we try to reinstate this. We're assisting in reinstating the feminine consciousness and compassion and just these ways of life. If we weren't sensitive, we wouldn't be able to feel it, and we wouldn't be able to convey it in whatever way might be best for each of us. Whether that's writing or speaking, or but sharing the message of what is happening in the world. We, the sensitives, the high empaths, need to go out there and spread this message of what, to help open people's eyes to what is actually occurring. So I think that's another step that they can take. And another thing that was really instrumental in my life in helping me create just the life of my dreams really is finding a mentor who really just helped me step into my courage, really helped me, because I had so much self-doubt, so much fear, so many fears moving forward, but I found my coach. She's a business coach. She's amazing. Her name is Jocelyn Marcato. She helped me just step into my power as a woman who knew she had a vision, knew she had a dream of what she wanted to do, and she helped me fine-tune this vision and really bring it to life. And there was so many times I had to borrow her faith in me, because I didn't have faith in myself that I was able to do it. But she was there, and she's been cheering me on. I'm still working with her, and we're doing amazing things. She's the one who helped me, guide me through this online event that I will be talking about soon. And yeah, I think that it's just so important to have a like-minded person or group of people who can kind of show you that it can be done. You can create a fulfilling life dedicated to helping animals. Like I was often subscribing to the belief that, as an activist, as a volunteer, as an animal rights person, I can't create the life of my dreams because I won't make money, I'm not using my brain enough, all these fears that came in from childhood where I was judged for, loving animals. And then I started to become very mute about what I truly desired and to do when I grew up, is, I'm losing my train of thought. Um, yeah, basically rewinding back to the mentor and just the community, um, paving the way, leading the way and showing us that we can create the life of our dreams. Yeah, she was instrumental. So I would say find a mentor or a coach who mirrors your values. And then lastly, I would say invest in yourself, invest in your dreams, invest in your desires. Often I was so scared to spend money on, things that were calling to me, trainings, courses, books, you know, and fundamentally what that meant was that I wasn't believing in myself. I wasn't believing that I was worth, investing in something like that for myself to create more knowledge for myself, create more success for myself. But when you invest your time, when you invest your energy, when you invest your money, you're really telling the universe that you're serious about what you want to do, what you want to create. And I know that even just taking the action, when I would sign up for that course with my coach Jocelyn, like things would start to really take hold, like things in my life would start to manifest, and I would get all these signs, that I was on the right path and that I am doing the right things and that I am worth, investing in. Of course I am. We are all, children of the divine, and the divine only wants us to be happy and to be fulfilled. And yeah, so I would say those four things are really important.
Well, thanks. Yeah, those are all really important for us to grasp, and as we all work to get more clear about why we're here and what our particular gift is in this mission of ours. And I want to leave time for questions, but before we do that, I know everybody wants to know about the Visionary Vegan Woman program that you've put together. So tell us about that, and yeah, so that everybody knows how to get to that.
Sure. So Visionary Vegan Woman is an online global event that I have put my heart and soul into, and I am just so excited to share it with the world. Right now, you can go and register at visionaryveganwoman.com, and that's woman, not women. And it's going to be 24 speakers from, I wanted it to be around the world, but so far they're US, pretty much mostly in the US, but these are amazing women who are leading the way, who are paving the way, and leading the way and showing us how to live a life of courage and compassion despite what the cultural conditioning is telling us, despite, naysayers and people who are just non-believers in, going after your dreams. And these are vegan women who are just pioneers in the field and driving the movement forward with their own unique skills, with their own zones of genius. One of them, I just spoke to Joan Rankwit today. She's an animal communicator. I mean, I spoke to Ellie Lax, who is the founder of the Gentle Barn. I've spoken with Judy Carmen, our beautiful host, who is the author of Peace to All Beings, Lisa Levinson. I mean, all these amazing women who are just putting themselves out there. They're following the call of their soul, and they're listening to it no matter what. It's, it's the choiceless choice. Like, we are being called, and now's the time to rise up as women, as conscious people, as conscious vegans. We need to do this for the animals. We need to do this for the earth. You need to uncover your soul gifts and bring them to the world. And hopefully that this event will help you do that. So I'm really excited for it.
Great. Well, thanks. Yeah. So I hope everybody joins in on that. I certainly will. And Lisa, can you open things up for questioning now? We've got a few minutes.
Hi, everyone. It's Lisa back with everybody. This is so exciting. What a fabulous sharing. This was so, so great, Kate. I really enjoyed everything you had to share with us today and related to you on so many levels. So now it's our opportunity to invite people who are listening in on our webinar platform today to ask questions. So you're welcome to do that. You can either type them into the chat box or you can unmute yourself on the platform, and you can even share your webcam with us if you're on the computer with us today. So we encourage and invite questions. Let's see, it looks like we've got some people in our chat box are aligning with Kate and her story, and also it looks like someone was asking Elisa's asking, is there a link to your coach Jocelyn that you can share? That's for Kate. So if there's any link for Jocelyn, any way that people might get in touch with her as well?
Yes, I just typed it in, and I believe it went to everyone.
Okay.
If you could check that, Lisa.
Sure, I'll check it out. It looks like we are sacredplanet.com is the place to reach her. And there's so many of these vegan coaches out there, and also people who are spiritually aligned. So I think you can also find them. And Kate is such a great resource herself. I know that you help women to discover themselves so that they can, in tune, share their voice with the world. So you can feel free to reach out to Kate directly. So
I have a question.
Yes, please. Tell us your name and then ask your question.
Hi, Lisa. Hi, this is Monique. Hi, Kate. I'm in LA.
Hi, Monique.
So I'm not sure if you went over this, and it may be a little bit diverting from the topic, but I think it's important since it's a female forum. So there are some people that are new vegans or have been in the vegan community, and because of the Me Too movement, there are sort of coming out now of people who were unfortunately abused. Most of the time it was men. And there are some men that are being glorified in the vegan community who have violated and not had any sort of, no one's had justice from them. And I'd like to know what your thoughts are to move on, but also to remember that, because it just came up today where there was a documentary and someone was telling me, oh, such and such is in it. And I said, yeah, I'm uncomfortable with that person. And he said, oh, well, you shouldn't judge him because he's done a lot of good things and it's only been a few times. And I said, no, actually it was a lot. And I gave him like the links. And I won't say the name.
Please? Because let's close.
I wanted to know how you handle this kind of matter, because I am an empath and it does bother me, because I feel that if you're going to be a part of the vegan community, something that you've done in the past to violate, humans, there should be some sort of, restitution for the people that you hurt.
That's such a great question. Thank you, Monique.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I don't know how I would even answer that really. I mean, I think that, when I think of just what I would, I mean, I totally hear you and I feel for you and I feel exactly what you're saying. But I do feel that we have to practice a level of compassion for all beings, even if things have been done that may not align with what you believe in or maybe don't make you feel safe. I think that we need to remember that a lot of people are sick, maybe spiritually sick. So for me, in that situation, I would try to practice a level of compassion for that person, and I just would detach myself or remove myself from anything that they are creating or producing, and I just wouldn't be a part of it. I don't know if that really answers your question, but if we're going to have peace on earth, and if that's what we want as vegans, I mean, even the factory farmers or people who we just, we can't stand what they're doing to the animals. At some level, we know that we have to realize that they're in pain, and it's their pain that is causing them to act in these ways. And so practicing compassion and forgiveness is, I think, the key to showing that we are able to maintain peace. I think that's as far as I can go with that question. I don't know if
Sounds
maybe
like a good
Judy or
answer to
Lisa.
me.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Kate, for addressing that in a lovely way, bringing it back to our own individual person and what we can do internally to resolve that and to practice that ability to have compassion for all beings, including some of the humans that we may struggle with. So we have another question for you, and this is from Michael, and he asks, do you address the healthy feminine and healthy masculine energy? And also, how do we apply them to vegan action while not succumbing to the unhealthy, feminine and masculine energies?
All right. So I'm trying to. So does Michael, maybe, I'm not sure if you mean, do you address the healthy feminine and healthy masculine energy? Are you asking how do you maybe work in harmony with the healthy energy, like balancing them, maybe working in harmony with feminine and masculine together? Is that maybe that what he's saying? Because I
Sounds
think
good.
that, yeah, I mean, because right now we're operating under what I think is shadow masculine, and the feminine is suppressed. And so I think that, I mean, my belief is that as the feminine rises and as we implement feminine practices and ways of being and living, then this allows space for the divine masculine to come forward versus the shadow masculine, which is what is predominantly what we're living in. And when we reach this beautiful place of, where the divine feminine and the divine masculine can work together, it's yeah, I mean it's harmonious, when it applies to vegan action, um, it's absolutely necessary to have both and to combine them. And with the feminine, you can receive the guidance as to what your next steps are, and then you need the masculine to go out there and take those steps. So you definitely need both. They work in tandem beautifully. And the more we sustain the feminine, sacred feminine ways of life, the more the shadow masculine will disappear or dissipate, and the divine masculine will rise as well.
Beautiful. I think also Michael was clarifying to do this while we recognize that both the masculine and feminine have a negative shadow.
Yes, and they do. They definitely do. And um, we try to, we try to live in accordance with the divine, the non-shadow side of these energies as much as possible, but also embrace the shadow, as we were talking about with Monique. Embracing and versus resisting, I think, is always the key here, so that we can, that's the feminine way.
And Elisa was sharing with us that she's now going to proclaim herself a visionary vegan woman after hearing this
Yay!
interview with you, and she's happy to say it out loud with us today.
Yes, say it out loud, declare it, Elisa. This is who we are. This is who we're stepping into, and there's no going back. This is who we need to be if we want to see the change in the world that we desire.
So I'm very excited to listen in and join in to the summit that you're producing. I'm sure it'll be very inspirational. And I hope that everyone who's tuning in tonight can also join in. You can find it again if you want to repeat the link, Kate.
Sure, it's www.visionaryveganwoman.com, and you can go right there and register, and you'll get emails, and then maybe you want to whitelist the email that you receive, so that way for any further emails that you receive, you will get them in your main primary inbox, and you won't miss anything.
Wonderful. Well, this is exciting, and we're so glad to have had this time together. This is our opportunity to gather together as vegans and to explore veganism as a spiritual practice. So we've done that by hearing Kate's story and also learning more about what she's doing in the world, that ripple effect, so that veganism can grow and expand and create more harmony in our world. So at this time, what we'll do is we'll have our closing comment or reading, and I think Kate is going to bless us with that tonight.
Yes, I would love to. So I wrote a closing prayer for this, and I will read it. In the ocean of you, there lies an extraordinary incandescent pearl. This pearl holds the blueprint of all the dreams, wishes, longings, and desires you've ever had, all of which have been placed within you by your Creator for a higher purpose, a reason that perhaps you cannot see, imagine, or envisage right now. Yet soon you can and will discover exactly what that is. Your only task is to keep moving forward, closer to the pearl within. It's time to part the waters of your body, mind, and soul, and follow the twinkle of beauty inside you. It's time to learn how to navigate those waters when they get choppy or tumultuous, which they undoubtedly will. It's time to reach for the starseed of light within, so that the path you chose before this incarnation can become yours. It's time to part the great waves once and for all, to discover and claim the sacred medicine only you hold, so that you can finally step into who you were always meant to be. Peace to all beings. Peace to you.
Wow, so beautiful. Thank you so much, Kate. I
Thank
think
you.
that's going to awaken the divine feminine within each of us so that we can continue on this path and our journey. And I am super grateful to you for joining us today and shining your light with us.
Yes,
It's
me
been such an
too. That was
honor.
just wonderful. Thank you,
Thank you.
Kate.
So we
Thank
look,
you
Thanks,
all. Thank
everybody,
you
for
for tuning
joining.
in.
yes,
Thank you,
Yes.
thank you, thank you. Go out and shine your unique lights. We need you. We need you. We need your medicine.
we listen. That's to all of us,
Yay.
vegan
Yes,
activists, animal
love that.
activists in the world. So keep on moving and practicing as Keith shared, and we hope that you'll join us again. You can find out more about all of our programs that we have online at idausa.org/events, where you'll find retreats and online support groups and all kinds of fun things. So we hope that we'll see you again sometime soon. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Good
Bye,
night.
everybody. Vegan blessings.
Vegan blessings.